Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to create a simple tracing page. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to click on the plus sign. I'm doing this on my phone, so Canva is going to look a little different. But you're going to click on the plus sign so we can go to custom size. Once we're at custom size, we're going to change our units to inches. Now, it all depends on what size you want your ABC book or your tracing workbook. So a workbook size is 8.5 by 11 inches. But if you're trying to do like my first ABC book, a small square book size would be 8.5 by 8.5. So you want to keep in mind what size you want to have your workbook slash book be. So I'm just going to click 8.5 by 11 inches just so I can show you how to do a tracing page. And here you'll see I have my margins already set up. But the way to find your margins is you go to File and then you click Show Margins. And now you'll see like a border that you can work with. When printing, this Canva border is not going to show. This is just a guide to show you where you want your border or page to start and stop. If you want to have your border a little bit wider than the margins that are shown here, you can try to add a border a half an inch apart away from the margin. So I'm going to show you. I'm clicking on the plus sign and I'm going to click elements. I'm going to type page border. There's so many cool borders that pop up. If you see any moving elements, you want to click graphics. You want to click on the 3 lines and click static and apply filters. And so let's just select something. Let's see. Let's just select these are leaves. I want to choose something a little different. All right, let's just select this border. So I'm going to put this border a half an inch away from the actual margins so that I can have a wide space to work with. And I'm going to then center my border. Again, I just want to make sure it is a half an inch apart. Click center. And now what I want to do is lock my border. So locking it is going to ensure that the border doesn't move when I'm placing other elements within the border. Now what I'm going to do is click on the plus sign again and get the text box. And I'm going to type name. And I'm going to change my font to Fredoka 1. I'm going to minimize the text. Place it right there. And now I'm going back to my elements and I'm going to get a line. I'm going to minimize the line a little bit. And I'm going to add it to the page. That's a little too close to my border. I'm on my phone, so I have a nudge button on my phone that I can actually move some things around. And now we're going to have name. And now I'm going to go back to my text and type A. I'm going to select the uppercase and lowercase a. I'm going to then maximize it and place it where I want it to be. And so what we're going to do in this particular video is create a spell it, color it, and trace it page. So now I have my A. Now I'm going to get another text box and type spell it. I'm going to change my font again. I love Fredoka one, but I'll tell you or put in the chat what fonts that you can use that are like kid friendly. Now I'm going back to my element section and I'm going to get a box. So my box is showing as orange, and I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the box to white, and next to the color box is something called style. And I'm going to select border, and I'm just going to select a solid border, and now we have a box. Now I am going to kind of minimize it a little so I can fit the uppercase A. I'm going to place this under my spell it text. I'm going to maximize my A a little bit. I want the end of my boxes to kind of fit where the A is. And now I'm just going to duplicate, and I'm going to select a smaller box to put on the side of that. I'm just going to use my nudge button. And then I'm going to minimize this A a little bit because I want to have space for the child to be able to spell and write the A. So I want to add multiple boxes on this part. And then I'm going to duplicate this. Let's see. It's a lot of trial and error, which is totally fine. And then let's minimize this box a little. And then we're going to add this box a little closer and then duplicate this. And I'm just going to nudge it over on the other side. All right. So now that I have the spell it box done, what I want to do is add the uppercase and lowercase a within the boxes. So I'm going to add a. So let me get a text box. I'm going to change this to A. And I'm really just going to be using my nudge the entire time of this video because it is so much easier for me to do this on my phone. And then I'm just going to duplicate this and then turn it into a lowercase a and add that within the box. Like so. And I know this A right here is a little wonky. Once I figure out where I want to place everything else, it's going to get, the placement is going to be a little bit easier. Let's see. Now I'm going to go into the element section and select a box, and I'm going to add it underneath like so. Let's make sure everything is centered. And I want to change the color of my orange box again to white. And I'm going to select the style next to the color box and select a solid line. My line width is 4. You can choose the thickness you want for your line, for your border. I just select 4 because that's what I'm most comfortable with. And now we're going to find outlines that are corresponding to the letter. So I'm going to just type in apple outline. Like so. Let's minimize it a little bit. And then let's find a airplane outline. let's get this airplane. And then I'm going to get an acorn. And I'm typing acorn, outline. And I'm just going to select that and place it where I want it to be. Let's minimize this a little bit. Now I'm just going to duplicate where it says color it, and I'm going to change it to, or excuse me, duplicate where it says spell it and change it to color it. Like so, and then I'm just going to add that into my box. Where I see fit. I'm going to nudge my apple down a little. Same with the airplane. And the acorn. And you see these red guides? That's telling me that everything is placed like congruently and side by side. These guides help a lot when it comes to making sure that all the boxes are centered, your letters and everything are placed correctly. I'm going to now duplicate where it says color it and just type in trace it. I'm duplicating these boxes because I don't feel like going back to get a text box and changing the font, but of course do what you feel most comfortable with. I'm just showing you the techniques. And here we're going to say trace it. And now what I'm going to do is go back into my element section and get a line like so. And now I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to work from the bottom up just because I want to center this, and I'm just going to nudge it all the way to the bottom like so. And then I'm going to duplicate the page. I want the lines to be a half an inch apart from each other, and my middle line I want it to be dashed. So what I'm going to do is click on line style and click on the dash. Of course you can choose what dash line you want. I'm going to select the second one, and now I'm going to duplicate the solid line and put it a half an inch away from my dashed line like so. And now you have your sky, fence, and ground trace it line, and I'm just going to duplicate this entire process over again. Like so. Make sure it is centered, and it is. And now I'm going to just scoot the trace it down a little like so. And I'm going to scoot everything down a little because I'm noticing I don't have any room for my actual letter A. So I'm just going to do some trial and error and scoot stuff down, scoot it to the side, see where I like the placement of things. That works for me. All right, and then let's see. That's too small. Let's go back. And I'm just going to nudge everything down. Now, of course, if you don't want to add as much activities on one page, you can easily just do a tracing, like A is for apple, and add some tracing lines for the child to trace. Okay, so I'm noticing that my boxes might be a little bit big for my liking. All right, so let's try this again. I'm going to throw these boxes in the trash and try to minimize these letters to fit in this box. What I want to do is try to add another box, and let's see, because I want to have the letter A be a little bit bigger. So I'm just going to nudge again, like so. And then let's get the A, minimize the A a little bit, and have it fit inside the box. All right, now let's enlarge this and see how it goes. And that's what a tracing page is. It's a whole bunch of lines and boxes, and you're just trying to see where the letters fit, the numbers. It all depends on what you're trying to include in your tracing page, workbook. So let's scoot this down a little. And then I'm going to scoot the spell it text down like so. Maybe I should add that up there. It really all depends on what you like. I'll just leave the A right there for now. But that is how you can create a simple but engaging activity page. And you can do this for the corresponding letters. So you can do this for A all the way through Z. You can also do this for numbers. If you wanted to add numbers, you can do the color it. You can find different, like let's say you want to do the number 2, you can add 2 apples instead of 1, add 2 airplanes instead of 1. Make it creative, but this is the technique to use to create a simple tracing page.